Hello. As you know, my name's Theresa, and I got married into the army life very, very young. My wedding day was a blast. It was a shotgun wedding, and for those that don't know what a shotgun wedding is, it was me in my maternity dress, my mum marching him up the aisle with a shotgun at his head. Now, as you can imagine, you know, young and dumb, you dream of a knight in shining armour. Well, I did. I got a cunt in tinfoil. So, my first trip with the army was to Northern Ireland against my mother's will. I was 17 going on 18, and it was all arranged to transport. We met another soldier, we got to the other end, and the taxi, as I thought it was a taxi, it was a Garda with a gun. So anyway, they took us, we got picked up with the army personnel, so we had an escort and a driver, and off we were going. It was Argyll Southern Highlanders we were attached to, or we were. So the escort and the driver needed a toilet, and there was a bus station just round the corner. So the escort says to him, I was getting married to, there's a gun. And it was an SLR and an Adidas bag. So I'm sitting there going, Mum always right. Anyway, I'm looking and I see a boy in the shed flashing a torch. And as I look over to my left, I say to the two, there's a gang of them coming out the bushes. So sure enough, Dopey, who's sitting next to me, dubs his door and starts going down like this, so I start following him. And then him next to me thinks he's Rambo and starts assembling the gun. By that time, I knew my tea was out. So in jumps the escort and he says, it's all right, Meg's got a pistol. So by this time, I've limbo danced towards the gear stick like this. Then I got a flash. Young woman dies in Northern Ireland of pleasure. So, as you can imagine, army life was a great life. You were protected, but it was scary. You had to go out and look under your car for bombs. You used to go to the shops with this big long thing. It looked like a metal detector with a mirror. You know, it wasn't. You used to go out your garden, you hang your washing up, the police would be full of soldiers. Hi, hen, doing a bit of training. You know, and my youngest son, he was a nightmare. Every guy in a combat uniform with a moustache was daddy. So 20 times a day I had to say, he's not your dad, he just looks like him. So then we went to Cyprus, Edinburgh, Colchester, Stirling, and then we went to Germany. It was great. And then he ran away and left me the cunt in tinfoil. So we were back to Civvy Street. Council social engineered me into a single parent street. It was about 1.5 miles long. And I can assure you, if there was a gas leak, there'd be 300 men jumping out the windows. So this street was different for doing your training. You were dodging buckfast bottles, idiots taking drugs at the front of your clothes. And they didn't speak Scottish anymore. Are you all right, pal? So I got, instead of getting angry, I started helping people. Now, there was one family in particular, the mother was called Hairy Helen. And Harry loved her name. She loved the status, Gallus, walking down the road. And she had this wee boy, he was called Sparky. Now, Sparky had a temper. And if he got grounded, he'd jump out windows, chew his way through doors. And he'd always come to my door. I was his adopted auntie. Aye, geez, I've got problems. Come on in, son. So one day I seen Sparky and he was going out all the back doors carrying furniture. So I shouts out and I go, Sparky, what is it you're doing? I'm building a gang hut, Annie Theresa, come and see it. So I went away down 3 closes, and it was like a high-rise flat. This one had beds, tables, chairs, you name it. And bricks, it was going to kill any visitor who went into his living room. So I gave him a wee rundown in health and safety. Right, Annie Theresa, I'll stop building. So a couple of days later, there he is again. So I was like, Sparky, what you doing, son? Well, Annie Theresa, see that snobby woman up the stairs for us? She phoned the cleansing department in my gang hut. Puts his on his hips and he says, well, Auntie Theresa, she's going to get sick of phoning the clenny before I'll get sick of building my gangies. And away he went like a wee ant. You know, so see the 7 years I lived in that street, we had a Hairy Helen, a Manky Mo, a Loopy Lorraine, a Mad Linda, and I was known as the mad woman with the staffy. My name's Theresa, thanks for having me.
That was brilliant. Well done. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Dave. Right, there you go. Whoa.